Hello, hi, welcome or welcome back to my channel. It's been a long time since I filmed a video for the channel. I think it's been almost a month now, but I'm back, and just a disclaimer, I will be posting sporadically instead of just weekly uploads, mainly because I have other things to prioritize, and I realized that filming and editing these videos take up a lot of time for me, and I've been putting what I have to prioritize to the back burner. I am going to reshuffle my prioritization. I don't want to stop completely filming these videos because these are so fun and it's kind of like a great outlet. But again, I did have to put something that I had to prioritize to the back burner. I will still be uploading, but maybe not as frequent. But welcome or welcome back to my channel. Welcome to another reset video. This is going to be my summer bookish resets video. I loved doing the spring resets video, so I thought I would do a summer one as well. So I have my commonplace journal, which I started last month, and honestly, I only have one entry in here. I can't really give my thoughts on how I feel about a commonplace journal, but I have written what I wanted to do in this video in this commonplace journal. There's going to be 3 items on this list that we are going to tackle in this video. So the first one is going to be building my summer TBR. I am very excited about this because I usually just build my seasonal TBR on my own, and then I would film a video of what is on my seasonal TBR. But this time is going to be a bit different. I thought it would be nice to share how I kind of decide what's going to be on my seasonal TBR, and why not do it together and we can kind of come up with the books together in a sense. So we're going to tackle that today, but there are 2 other items on this list. The next one is going to be updating my 2026 reading journal. I think this one's going to take a while, so there's going to be some B-roll clips here and there, or maybe I might jump in to talk about some of the things that I'm going to update on my reading journal. And of course, I'm going to provide a flip through. Updating my reading journal is going to be a recurring task whenever I do my bookish resets. And finally, we're going to decorate my kobo. To share my kobo currently, I have it in its traveling case. This spring, I don't think I've used the clear case. Not as often because I did go on a trip in the end of April, and then in May, I kind of sprinkled here and there some trips as well. So my kobo has been living in this case instead. Just for a refresher, my case, oh, it's kind of ruined now, but it kind of sort of looked like this. And also I have bought new stickers that I have kind of replaced and put here, but I think it's time to change this background and make it more summerish. I feel like this is more suitable for spring than it is for summer. So we are going to decorate my kobo and maybe switch around some stickers again, and hopefully I don't make this mistake again. Those are the 3 items on this list that we are going to tackle in this video, and it's going to probably span a 2-week period, just like my spring bookish resets. And of course, I am going to sprinkle here and there a reading update of the book that I'm currently reading. So what I'm currently reading is Jade Legacy by Fonda Lee. I have finally picked this up, and this was on my May TBR. Don't remember if I started it in May or in June, but I am reading alongside with my sister for Jade Legacy. She read so quickly. She read Jade City, Jade War, and now Jade Legacy in succession. So I'm just in awe of how she can read a series back to back. For me, sometimes it depends on the series. I think with the trilogy, I'm okay with reading it in succession. But if the series is too long, I need a palate cleanser in between the books. So I'm going to move this over because I want to share the book. I am about a quarter of the way into this book. It is good so far. I am liking it. And of course, it's still the beginning of the book, and we're kind of going through some timelines. It's, I guess, steady pace, but a bit more on the slower pace side. I know it's going to definitely pick up later on in the story. We have seen some action in here, but it's mostly the politics. Also, I have been annotating this book, and I have been loving that experience. So these are the sticky tabs that I have decided to use, and and I will describe what I have used. I don't know if you can see the colors that I've decided to use, but we are going to share it using this. So I used the yellow to kind of highlight any definitions or introductions to a new, I don't want to say thing, but any definitions or something new to me that I kind of want to remember. It's not really a definition of a word, but it's more like a definition of an item that has been introduced into the story. So I've used this a light blue one here for any important plot turns, or not really a twist, but anything that would add to the plot or something that I should kind of maybe keep an eye out that might change the game later on in the book. And then finally, this last color, I thought it was a dark blue, but I think it's black. But this is any jaw-dropping moments. And so far, according to my book, I have 2 of them. And it's only been a quarter of the way through the book, so I cannot imagine how I'm going to feel near the second half of the book. So I am enjoying Jade Legacy, and as you can see, it is a chonker. So kind of intimidating, but at the same time, I've been having a great time reading it. So I will provide some updates here and there, maybe, if I can remember. But if not, this is what I'm currently reading. And as you may have noticed, I did not post a TBR Prompt Jar Picks My June reads because I did not even touch my May TBR. And so I thought I would just carry that over. And I have currently 3 library books checked out and 1 in transit. So I'm just overloaded with library books at the moment. So I've decided not to do a June TBR and just read what I have that I have to kind of prioritize as well. This is the book that I am currently reading. We have 3 items on the list that we need to tackle, and we are going to tackle one of them today. So let's go over to my bookshelf and my TBR cart to build my summer TBR. We are in front of my TBR cart and my bookshelf. The books on here are all the books that I've already read, but just for aesthetic purposes, it's here. I have my reading journal in front of me. This looks quite messy at the moment. It looks like it went through a hard time here. So let's fix the bookmarks here. And so I have my reading journal just for some book ideas. I also have my commonplace journal because I have some notes on what kind of books I'm looking for and book ideas for building my summer TBR. I also have my laptop on the side here for the time being in case I need to refer to it as well. So we are getting really prepared for this. So let's talk about any new additions to my TBR cart. And just quickly looking, it seems that I only have The Last Contract of Isako by Fonda Lee. I went to Fonda Lee's book tour for The Last Contract of Isako, and that was one of my mini trips that I went on in the month of May. I have re-added or put back the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy because I didn't even get to it. So that's added back onto the cart. And other than that, I don't think anything else is new. Let's start picking out the books for my summer TBR. According to my commonplace, the urge of not building my TBR until I filmed this video was so big that oh gosh, I had to hold myself back. We're supposed to build this together. So instead, I just came up with a few points here. So to build my summer TBR, I want a total of 5 books. 3 of them are from my physical TBR, and 2 of them can be library books. So that's going to help with how many books I place on hold from the library and finishing my library books in conjunction with my physical TBR. So I'm really excited for that. So I feel like this one would be attainable. I mean, I say that in all my videos that all my TBRs are going to be attainable, but as you've noticed, I don't think I've completed 1 TBR. So we're going to change that by mixing my summer TBR with physical books that I own and library books. I already have 1 library book in mind, so I'm going to share that first. And that is The Gunko by Stephen Rowley. I wanted to get to this book last year, summertime, but of course I didn't get to it, so we are carrying it over to this year. So I am going to put The Gunko by Stephen Rowley on this TBR. I feel like the cover looks very summer-like, and it seems like a fun, lighthearted read. So I'm going to go on Goodreads to read the synopsis of The Gunko. I feel like that's going to be way better than how I'm going to describe it. And it's gotten a pretty high rating at 4.1 average rating and 213,000, or rounding 214,000 ratings on this book. So let's read the synopsis here. So Patrick, or Gay Uncle Patrick, GUP for short, has always loved his niece Maisie and nephew Grant. That is, he loves spending time with them when they come out to Palm Springs for week-long visits, or when he heads home to Connecticut for the holidays. But in terms of caretaking and relating to two children, no matter how adorable, Patrick is honestly a bit out of his league. So when tragedy strikes and Maisie and Grant lose their mother and Patrick's brother has a health crisis of his own, Patrick finds himself suddenly taking on the role of primary guardian, despite having a set of Gunko rules ready to go. Patrick has no idea what to expect, having spent years barely holding on after the loss of his great love, a somewhat stalled career, and a lifestyle not so suited to a 6 and 9-year-old. Quickly realizing that parenting, even if temporary, isn't solved with treats and jokes, Patrick's eyes are open to a new sense of responsibility and the realization that sometimes even being larger than life means you're unfailingly human. Now that I'm reading this, I don't feel like it's as lighthearted as I thought it would be and funny as I thought it would be. But the cover is very cute, and it looks like a summer read, just based on the cover and the color scheme of the cover. This is going to be the first book on my summer TBR. Since we already picked one library book on our summer TBR, and I've already placed a hold on it, let's pick a book from my physical TBR. But before we do that, let's see what genre ideas I have. So I only have 2 genre ideas when I wrote this up, and they are summer romance and thriller. Okay, let's do the easy one, which is a thriller. My eyes just landed on a book for adding to my summer TBR. That is Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter. I feel like this is very fitting for the summer, especially in June, because I believe this is during prom season. I'm going to read the back of the book for Better Than the Movies. I don't know too much about it, or I vaguely remember what it was about, but all I remember was that this was set during prom season. Liz Buxbaum, if that's how you say her last name, has always known that Wes Bennett was not boyfriend material. You would think that her next-door neighbor would be a prime candidate for her romantic comedy fantasies, but Wes has only proven himself to be a pain in the butt ever since they were little. Wes was the kid who put a frog in her Barbie dream house, the monster who hid a lawn gnome's severed head in her little homemade neighborhood book exchange. Flash forward 10 years from the great gnome decapitation. It's Liz's senior year, a time meant to be rife with milestones, perfect for any big screen, and she needs Wes's help. See, Liz's forever crush, Michael, has just moved back to town, and horribly, annoyingly, he's hitting it off with Wes. Meaning that if Liz wants Michael to finally notice her and hopefully be her prom date, she needs Wes. He's her in. But as Liz and Wes scheme to get Liz her magical prom moment, she's shocked to discover that she actually likes being around Wes. And as they continue to grow closer, she must re-examine everything she thought she knew about love and rethink her own perception of what happily ever after should really look like. So this is giving a neighborhood friends to lovers. I love that. This is so cute. And I think it was during prom. Did I read that correctly? Yeah, her magical prom moment. I think this is just very fitting for June. So hopefully I can get through this book. Oh, I love how the book is kind of laid out. The words are just beautifully spaced. Oh, I think this is gonna be a very good read. So this is going to be the second book on my summer TBR. I'm going to leave it up here. All right, so we kind of have a summer, well, it's not really a summer romance, but we have a romance going on here. So we have The Gunko. I don't know what the genre is, but according to Goodreads, it's LGBT, contemporary, humor, fantasy. Oh no, that says family. Whoa, my contacts are not really working at the moment, and adult fiction. That is The Gunko. We have a romance here. I mentioned a thriller, so let's take a look at a thriller, which I think I don't have any thrillers down here. A thriller. So, okay, I actually feel like this whole row down here, I feel like this might be a thriller. This might be a thriller. Is this a thriller? Possibly. The first one is A False Witness by Karen Slaughter. If you're into mystery thrillers, then you're into Karen Slaughter. Perfect. Book number one is The False Witness by Karen Slaughter. This is candidate number one. We have The Fury by Alex Michaelides, who also wrote The Silent Patient, and I absolutely love The Silent Patient. I also read The Maiden, and I enjoyed that one as well, but not as much as The Silent Patient. So I'm assuming this is also a thriller. It could be a mystery thriller as well, similar to the Karen Slaughter book. So this is going to be a contestant. Ooh, actually, just looking at the cover, it's giving island, it's giving summer. So summer thriller, maybe. This is another candidate. And our third candidate is Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. I think this is also a mystery thriller. So this is the second to A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy. And I mean, I've been trying to get into A Good Girl's Guide to Murder and try to finish the trilogy. And if I kind of want to finish the trilogy, I mean, I'll see how the second book goes. And I mean, at that point, I might as well finish the trilogy. So is this a good time to continue a series? Maybe. I heard either this book or the third book, which is As Good as Dead, was very scary. Don't know which one of the two, but I also heard the second book is the best, I think. The more I talk about this one, the more I'm intrigued to picking this up. So let's actually take a look at all three of these books. So what I've learned from Jamie here on YouTube is that she reads the first lines whenever she feels indecisive of reading a book. So she would read the first lines of each of the books that she's kind of debating between and then see which kind of captivates her. So let's do that too. So maybe it'll make this decision a lot quicker. So let's start with Karen Slaughter's False Witness. Summer 1998. From the kitchen, Callie heard Trevor tapping his fingers on the aquarium. Should I read a little bit more? Her grip tightened around the spatula she was using to mix cookie dough. Maybe a little bit more. He was only 10 years old. Maybe a little bit more. Maybe I'll just read the paragraph. She thought he was being bullied at school. His father was an asshole. He was allergic to cats and terrified of dogs. Any shrink would tell you the kid was terrorizing the poor fish in a desperate bid for attention, but Callie was barely holding on by her fingernails. I feel like it's setting the scene. So it's setting the vibe. So that's what I'm getting from False Witness. The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I have a bookmark here because my best friend read it and up to page 51, she stopped. So let's take that out and let's read the first page of this book. Oh, should I read the prologue or should I read chapter 1? Okay, let's read the prologue. Never open a book with the weather. Who was it who said that? I can't remember. Some famous writer, I expect. Whoever it was, they were right. Weather is boring. Nobody wants to read about weather, particularly in England, where we have so much of it. People want to read about people, and they generally skip descriptive paragraphs, in my experience. Okay, maybe I'll read chapter 1. This is a tale of murder. Okay, what I realized with these two books is that they have very short sentences. Sounds like it's going to be an easy read. This is leaning towards being chosen at the moment. And finally, Good Girl, Bad Blood by Holly Jackson. Now, I do have to reread the first book, but at the same time, I don't really want to. So I'm thinking of maybe listening to that one via audiobook and then jump into this physically. So let's read the first chapter as well. After and before. I guess that's the first chapter. You think you'd know what a killer sounds like. That their lies would have a different texture, some barely perceptible shift, a voice that thickens, grows sharp and uneven as the truth slips beneath the jagged edges. You'd think that, wouldn't you? Everyone thinks they'd know if it came down to it, but Pip hadn't. Interesting. This is going to be a no for the time being. I can see where it's going a bit. Not really. When I read the sentence with Pip's name mentioned, it reminded me of her character, and I don't know why. I just didn't really like her character. Maybe it was because of the TV adaptation of it, but I'm not sure if I want to pick this one up just yet, so let's put this one back. I also just remembered that we have the Pretty Little Liars series. So let's pick out the 5th book, because I would think this is a thriller, right? Right? It's a mystery, so maybe this would be good. So let's read the first line of this, because this is a series I don't really want to read the back of the book. Inquiring minds want to know. Wouldn't it be nice to know exactly what people are thinking? If everyone's head were like those clear Marc Jacobs toads, their opinions as visible as a set of car keys or a tube of hard candy lip gloss, you'd know what the student casting director really meant when she said, "Good job," after your South Pacific audition. Comparing this with Good Girl, Bad Blood, I kind of want to go into this more so than that book, so I'm going to add this onto our list. But out of these 3 books, oh, I'm kind of itching for False Witness. Oh, I also want to read Wicked as well. I'm not going to pick False Witness by Karen Slaughter because I feel like this can also be read at any time in any season. But if I'm itching for more thrillers, I will pick this one up. Now, between these 2 books, I think I'm leaning towards The Fury just because it's set on an island and it just sounds like summer to me. We're going to read The Fury by Alex Michaelides. I am going to make it a goal to find out how to pronounce his last name. So we're going to add The Fury to my summer TBR. I feel like there's a color scheme going on, like this blue-yellow theme. The Guncle is also blue and yellow. I mean, this is also blue and yellow too. Should I just throw that in as my 3rd physical TBR? No. I realize I don't have a fantasy in the mix. I mean, I don't have to, but it would be good to read a fantasy. Okay, let me refer to the Commonplace notebook. Summer romance and thrillers. So I don't really have a summer romance. Okay, so let's go back to my last library book pick. So when we were talking about the genres, when I mentioned summer romance, I was thinking maybe one of Carly Fortune's books. I'm really itching to read One Perfect Storm, but is it a summer romance? Let's find out. Ooh, the ratings are pretty high at 4.12 average rating with a 9,000 ratings. I feel like Carly Fortune's books are always summer romances. I don't even need to read the synopsis because I see the genres and it says summer. And it says romance. And it's friends to lovers. Ooh, okay, so currently I do have Dolly All the Time held at the library at the moment. I wonder if that's a summer romance too. Because then I'm hitting 2 birds with 1 stone there. Dolly All the Time. And that's by Annabelle Monaghan. It's also a summer romance. Oh, that's hard. Okay, so let's pick a summer romance as my library pick. So I have 2 contestants here. It's Dolly All the Time by Annabelle Monaghan. This is also one of my anticipated releases of 2026. And then we also have One Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. So technically, I feel like I should read Carly Fortune's book in release order instead of just jumping into her new release. But I am itching to pick up Our Perfect Storm. And it is a standalone, so I don't even think it's an interconnected standalone. But at the same time, I feel like Annabelle Monaghan should also be the same, where I should start reading by publication order instead of just jumping to her new release. So you know what? Yeah, okay, I'm gonna debate between reading Dolly All the Time or One Perfect Storm. So I don't really wanna read the synopsis until I get to the book, but based on the genres, for Dolly All the Time, it is a fake dating. So fake dating versus friends to lovers. I could make it easier for myself because I already have Dolly All the Time held at the library. I want to challenge myself. I feel like I keep saying that, and in the end, I never get to the books that I try to challenge myself with. So let's make it this time around. So let us pick Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune as my summer TBR read. Technically, if I pick Dolly All the Time, it has that blue-yellow theme that's going on here. But let's change it up a bit and do Our Perfect Storm by Carly Fortune. So that is going to be the 4th book on my summer TBR. We have The Gunko, we have Our Perfect Storm, we have Better Than the Movies, and we have The Fury. So we have a nice mix of romance and thriller. Our last pick should be a fantasy. Should it be a fantasy or a sci-fi? I don't even know. Okay, so I'm going to just pick a sci-fi and a fantasy book. For a sci-fi, I'm sorry, Fonda Lee, but I am thinking of Dark Matter by Blake Crouch, or should I do, okay, I'm gonna pick 2 fantasy books. The first one's going to be Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros, and my second pick is going to be A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. We're going to spin the wheel. I have seen people where they have a jar and all the book titles are thrown into a jar, and whatever book they pick up, they are not going to read that book. And whatever's remaining in the jar is what they're going to be reading. So we're going to do the same thing, but with a wheel. So I feel like that will just make my life easier. So let's do Akatar. Let's do Dark Matter. And we're going to do Fourth Wing. Fourth Wing. Should I add one more just for fun? Ooh, let's put Divine Rivals. And then maybe let's do a Brandon Sanderson book. So maybe Mistborn too. Okay, so we have 5 books here, and let's see what we are not going to read. I'm scared. So we are not going to read, no! We are not going to read Dark Matter. How unfortunate. Let's remove it. Unfortunate. So we are not going to read Divine Rivals. That's okay. I don't think I had a strong feeling towards that one anyway. We are not going to read, should I just close my eyes? I don't even know. We are not going to read Mistborn. Okay, so this is very interesting because if I had to pick a sci-fi, it would be Dark Matter. But in terms of fantasy, I was debating between Fourth Wing and Akatar. Last one. I'm gonna close my eyes and you guys are gonna see first. And then we're going to see what we are going to be reading between these 2. So I'm gonna close my eyes because this is just so stressful. Okay, so we are going to be reading Fourth Wing. I should be doing this more often. Maybe I shouldn't have done the reading the first line because the wheel has chosen for us. We are going to be reading Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. How many times has it been on our TBR? And this was on my winter TBR as well. It's a sign. I really need to get to it. So, oh, just us 2. This is going to be the 5th book. Where's my stack of books? So this is going to be the 5th book on my summer TBR. We have Fourth Wing by Rebecca Yarros. We have The Fury by Alex Michaelides. And we have Better Than the Movies by Lynn Painter as my 3 physical TBR books. There is a theme going on here, which is yellow and blue books. So let's put that up here for now. Should I do the wheel for Our Perfect Storm versus Dolly All the Time? Let's do it. Just for fun. Let's see what it chooses for us. So we are going to do Dolly All the Time and Our Perfect Storm. All right, so what we are going to read between these 2. I'm gonna close my eyes. Okay, it's a sign. So Our Perfect Storm, what we are going to read. We have to follow the wheel. These are going to be the books on my summer TBR. So from my physical TBR, we have these 3 books. We have Better Than the Movies, The Fury, and Fourth Wing. And then for our 2 library books, we are going to be reading The Guncle and Our Perfect Storm. I think this is a very nice summer TBR. I'm very excited to read these books. So those are the books on my summer TBR. We have 1 out of the 3 items checked off, and I will hop back in when we do the next item on our list. It's been another week. It is the weekend, and I just came back from doing some bookish things, bookish errands, I would say. So I have what is left of my matcha. So I got a brulee banana with miso iced matcha latte with regular milk. And honestly, my thoughts on this drink is that the brulee banana was very strong. It's very good. I really like it. Because of the flavoring, I couldn't really taste the matcha, but honestly, it tastes like how I would make my matcha. So I would say that's a win. It was so busy today. Oh, I just wanted to get out. So I picked up my drink and left. I didn't think it would be so busy, but based on my last trip to that coffee shop, probably during my spring bookish reset, I also encountered a lot of people there. So it's just always busy there, and especially on a sunny day, definitely going to be busy. Love that little coffee shop, and this was very good. Now, I have my reading journal here. I did update my reading journal throughout the week, but did not film anything because I wanted to focus on what I wanted to do with my June spread. I think this is my best spread yet. This is going to be my June spread. I absolutely love it. I love the color scheme. I love this umbrella theme going on, and I saw this inspo from Pinterest, and in terms of the layout, again, it's from Lazy Egg Reads on Instagram. I feel like I say the same thing for each month whenever I work on it, but I feel like maybe it's just getting better each time. So the main reason why I left the condo today was because I wanted to print out the book covers for my reading journal and also print out my kobo case design that I kind of created through Canva and heavily inspired by some Pinterest board spreads. And of course, spoiler alert, I have to mess up somehow. So you'll see when I get to it. But first, we have our book covers ready. I hope they were facing the right direction. And so I'm excited to start pasting them on my reading journal. Similar to my spring reset, we can do that together. And this is where I messed up. For my summer kobo case, I am thinking something like this, which is kind of outside of my element because I've never done this before. So I made something like this. I absolutely adore it. I've seen some Pinterest inspo, and so I made something along the lines of this. And I did this all on my phone. So originally I was doing it on my computer, but then I found that it was just much easier to kind of drag everything around using my phone. Now, every time I look at this, I just love it. I love looking at it. So this is going to be my summer kobo case. However, as you can see, this is humongous. Comparing with my kobo, it's humongous. We are going to see what I'm going to do. I don't know if I want to reprint this again. I love each and every element on this page, and I don't know if I want to remove anything. We'll see what we're gonna do, and it's the weekend, it's Saturday, so I still have Sunday. But best case scenario, hopefully I can do something with this because I really don't want to go back out to Staples to print just one page. That is going to be it for now. We are going to be updating my reading journal together now. So let's go update my reading journal. So before we start on the updating my reading journal, I do want to talk about some book updates. So I think I am around 30 to 40% into Jade Legacy, and I am enjoying it. It is a bit more on the slow pace still, and there are some chapters where I'm just immediately hooked, and I feel like that's kind of the magic of Vonda Lee's writing. Because of work, and I just don't really have the time to read, and by the time I finish work, I'm just very tired. And jumping into the Greenbone saga, I feel like it's a bit too much for me at the moment. I've been reading slowly, but I'm still enjoying it. So that is an update for Jade Legacy. I currently have 4 library books checked out currently. So let's talk about them. I have Just Friends by Haley Pham. I'll be completely transparent. It is overdue. Actually, it's actually due today, and I have yet to start this book. I am determined to read this sometime this month, so hopefully I can finish this as soon as I can. Let's put that here. Maybe I'll move this here, put that here. The next book that I have checked out is The Guncle by Stephen Rowley. This is on my summer TBR. As you have seen, I am very excited. This came in a lot earlier than I expected. I thought I was going to get this in July, but it came in now, and I thought this is the time to read this. I was so close to starting this book because I wanted something light and maybe in the contemporary instead of reading a heavy fantasy. So I was very close to reading this until I got another book, and that is Heart the Lover by Lily King. So I did a little bit of research, and they say that you should read this after Writers and Lovers. This can be read as a standalone, but it can also be a prequel or a sequel, which I find very intriguing. I have decided to read Writers and Lovers first before jumping into this. But since I've already checked this out, that means I have to jump into Writers and Lovers. And I checked with Libby, and there is an audiobook. I decided to borrow Writers and Lovers as an audiobook, and I would listen to that first before jumping into this book here. I'm currently listening to Writers and Lovers. I think I am probably at the 25% mark currently, and I don't know if I'm enjoying it. It's giving tomorrow kind of feeling for me. Tomorrow and Writers and Lovers are completely opposites. They are nothing alike in terms of its writing, in terms of the topics they talk about. I think it's just the genre of literary fiction. Because I am dipping my toe into literary fiction, I realized I am not as invested in the characters, or I really don't care for the characters, which makes the reading experience not as enjoyable as my fantasy or romance books. I would say currently how I'm feeling about Writers and Lovers, I'm just reading it so that I can read this. I was very close to canceling my hold and just holding this again, but the lineup was so long. And when I first held this book, it was sometime in January and February, and we're in June. So I have to get to this. This is very small too, so I don't think it's gonna take that long. We also have Heart the Lover, and technically I have Writers and Lovers checked out as well, but through Libby. And finally, the 4th book I have, it's on my Kobo because it's also from Libby, and that is Our Perfect Storm. Oh, I'm so excited! I checked out Writers and Lovers yesterday, and then at midnight, I got a notification saying that Our Perfect Storm is ready for pickup. I had to check this out. The lineup is so long for this. So I have 20-ish days to finish Our Perfect Storm. So after I finish reading Writers and Lovers, or listening to Writers and Lovers, I'm going to hop into Our Perfect Storm. And that means we have The Guncle and Our Perfect Storm from my summer TBR. 2 out of 2 library books ready to be read in the month of June. I'm foreseeing that my summer TBR is going to be completed. I'm optimistic. We have currently 5 books checked out. So we'll see how that goes. That is just a reading update on all the books that I have currently. So let's update my reading journal. So I'm in a predicament for my book bingo. This box here said sci-fi, and originally I printed out We Burn So Bright by TJ Klune. And when I was reflecting on the book, I felt like it wasn't too sci-fi, so should I count that as sci-fi? I'm looking online. It says on Goodreads that it's fantasy fiction sci-fi. So I'm thinking, can I count this as sci-fi? Because another book that I had in mind was Dark Matter. Let me search that up and see how Goodreads classifies it. Yes, for Dark Matter, the first genre I see is sci-fi. I think for We Burn So Bright, it was fantasy. So I think I shouldn't add it. So I printed out this little book cover, if it will focus. It doesn't count. I wouldn't count it. Okay, goodbye. Same thing with the Atlas 6. I put on Goodreads the Atlas 6 and it showed up fantasy before Dark Academia. And another book I had in mind was If We Were Villains by ML Rio. Dark Academia was listed first, so I don't think I can count this. I mean, I technically can. It's my rules, it's my bingo card, but because I have another book in mind, I can't use this little book cover as well. Unfortunate. So, goodbye. All right, we have our reading journal completed, I hope. Let's flip through our 2026 reading journal so far. We have updated this page here. We have 18 books completed as of today, which is, it's looking great. We already have 2 rows completed. There has been only 1 5-star so far, and we are in the middle of June. So I need to start reading more of my 5-star predictions. So let's hope to get another 5-star read sometime soon. And as you can see, I have been reading a lot of 3-star books recently. And I mean, it's bound to happen. So let's hope for a 4-star, 5-star read sometime soon, because I really hope I do not fall into a reading slump because of that. We also have our 2026 overview. We have our stats here. I have updated March, April, May. So March, we read 3 books, 4-star average rating, 0 5 stars, 1.5 audio, 0 physical, 1.5 ebook, and 1 library. We have read 3 books in April with a 4.08 average rating, 0 5 stars, 1 audio, 2 physical, 0 ebook, and 0 library books. Now, I will talk a little bit more for May because I did not do a May wrap-up video. We read a total of 4 books, surprisingly, in the month of May with all my little mini trips that I've made in the month of May. That is a pretty high number, as you can see. That's the highest I've ever read in February and May. So it seems that I read a lot more during unexpected months. 4 books read in the month of May. We will see what books I have read when we get to that spread. An average rating of 3.69. So that is quite low compared to the rest. We read 0 5 stars, of course, 1.5 audio, 0.5 physical, 2 ebook, and 1 library. On the next page, we have our monthly favorites: January, Jade City; February, Jade War; March, First Time Caller; April is And Now Back to You; and in May. And my May favorite was Vicious by V.E. Schwab. This book took me 2 months to read, but still the highest rated book that I've read in the month of May. Series tracker. Now, I have added Villains, which is the trilogy of Vicious, where Vicious is the first book. And I do want to mention that I don't know if I want to continue the Remnant Chronicles. The more I think about it, the more I'm not really itching to read it, and I'm not really invested in the characters. So I don't know if I want to continue the Remnant Chronicles, but it's still here in case I want to revisit it. Maybe we will check in at the next quarter. Villains is the only new addition to this list. Everything else is the same. And I am currently reading Jade Legacy, so that will be filled out when I finish the book. Our 26 books for 2026. Let's take a look and see if there's any that I can fill out. Looks like I can't. So we are already halfway through the year and I have only read 4. So I really need to focus on my 26 books for 2026. Good news is, Better Than the Movies and Fourth Wing are on my summer TBR. So I am hoping to get to these 2 very shortly. And then I would have 6 books out of, 6 out of 26. This is not looking too good. So I really need to prioritize my 26 books for 2026. This is kind of like a reality check for me. Then we have our book bingo. I have added, I think 3 onto this list, or maybe 4. So I added last book in a series, Jade Legacy. Technically, I didn't finish reading it, but I know I'm gonna finish it, so that's already filled out. We have more than 500 pages, which is Jade War. We also have a spring book, which is by Ash, Oak, and Thorn. And I think that was it. I printed out We Burn So Bright for sci-fi and the Atlas 6 for dark academia. But as you have seen, we are not including those. They're not really technically. Sci-fi and dark academia is not the primary genre. I am going to reserve that for those books that are primarily sci-fi and dark academia. This here is the release radar, all the books that I am anticipating for in 2026. Oh, I added one thing, which is still in pencil because I'm not sure if it's actually gonna come out on October 20th, but we have A Merry Little Christmas by Abby Jimenez. That sounds like a very cute holiday read, so hopefully I can get to that in December. We have our unread library. The only thing I've updated here is Say You'll Remember Me, the Atlas 6, by Ash, Oak, and Thorn, and Now Back to You and The Night We Met. So it seems that I'm doing very well here. I'm crossing out books on this page, but we're slowly making our way through. Now we have our book bracket, which is just another way for me to see all of my favorite reads of the month. And then we're going to do this book bracketing method to find out my top 3 books of 2026. Book club picks. January, we have Jade City. February, we have The Poet Empress. March was Vicious. April was The Night We Met. May was Yesteryear. And June was is Into the Blue. These are the 2 books I have not gotten to, but it's on my list, definitely. So although I didn't read it during their respective months, I am determined to get to these 2. Once again, the book club picks are either from Freya or Jamie's book club pick of the month on Fable. Our January spread is what we've seen in my spring reset video. And I don't think I have done much here. February, same thing. Our spring TBR, which I believe I also shown in my spring reset video. I do want to mention that out of the 6 books in my spring TBR, I have only read by Ash, Oak, and Thorn and Say You'll Remember Me, 2 out of 6. This is a third of my spring TBR. So reflecting on this, I am definitely going to go 6 for 6 in my summer TBR. March, I don't remember if I've updated this. I have just included the books onto the page. I forgot to write the star rating there, but it's still in pencil. And also, as you can see, I kind of made a mistake in my legend. So I have a little oops. We have our April spread. This was very cute. I think my favorite egg out of all of this is this one because it reminds me of Yoshi. We have on our hopefuls list, The Night We Met, Say You'll Remember Me by Ash, Oak, and Thorn, the Atlas 6, and Now Back to You. And this is 3 out of 5, which is pretty good. As of June, all of these are completed, so that's a win. Again, I forgot to put the star rating under, but it's in pencil, so that's okay. And here are my little pie charts for my reads in the month of April. So this is a very colorful spread, and I love looking at it. My only written review on a book And that was very fun to do. So I'm hoping whenever I get the chance, when I want to write down my thoughts on a book, I will complete those in the near future. Maybe I'll do better in the next quarter. Now we have May. This was very cute. I really like the tulips that are on this page, and I like the color scheme as well. So on my hopefuls, I have Jade Legacy, Atmosphere, Tomorrow, Yesteryear, and Vicious. And my one sentence review of all the books that I've read in May. So in the month of May, since I didn't do a wrap up, let's talk about the books very briefly. I've read Tomorrow by Gabrielle Zevin, and I rated it a 3-star. The story was okay for me. I don't think it was for me. And I can see why people would enjoy this story. But for me, it was a struggle to read for me. But because Tomorrow was a book club pick amongst my friends, we had to read it, and one of the rules were do not DNF it. If I didn't have that rule, I might have DNF'd the book. I mean, I wouldn't say the book is terrible. It did elicit a lot of emotions for me. It's not anything too bad, but I did find that the pacing was quite slow and I didn't really care for the characters, and there is only one character that I actually liked in this story. That's all I'm going to say there. And then I also read The Night We Met by Abby Jimenez. I gave that a 4.25 star. I did enjoy The Night We Met over Say You'll Remember Me, but I would have liked it if we had more of Mike's POV, but because the trope is boyfriend's best friend, I would have liked to see more of Mike's POV, who is the boyfriend here. Although I don't like reading boyfriend's best friend or any kind of cheating tropes, I felt that this was tolerable because it didn't feel like it was really boyfriend's best friend. But I can see where Abby Jimenez is going because the third book in this interconnected standalone series is going to be Mike's redemption arc, but I am very intrigued in the third book. I also read The Atlas 6 by Olivia Blake. Surprisingly, I did not DNF it for the 5th time, which is great. So I gave this one a 3-star. At first, I was going to give it a 3.5, I think, but I decided to give it a 3 because I never really thought about the book afterwards. If you were to ask me the events in the book, I can honestly tell you that I'm not even sure because the amount of times I zoned out. I just wanted to get through the book, so I just played it in the background. But there were probably a handful of times where I kind of was intrigued in the events of the book, but for the most part, I know I wasn't really into it. I just continued it because I really wanted to give it a chance. Giving it a 3-star is pretty high in my opinion. Maybe I would have given it a 2.75 because I just wasn't really into the story. And I think what picked it up to a 3-star or 3.25 star was the ending. So that started getting my attention. So it took a while for me to get into it. As you can see in my series tracker, I did not list the Atlas 6 trilogy into the list because I don't think I will continue with the series. At the time when I finished it, I was intrigued to see what's going to happen, but as I was updating my reading journal, I just did not really care for it anymore. I think it was just in the moment where I wanted to see where it's gonna go. But with all the books that I'm really itching to pick up, I'm not really interested in continuing with this series. So I don't think I'm going to continue the Atlas 6 trilogy. A 3-star is pretty solid for me. And finally, my favorite book of the month was Vicious by V. Schwab. Although it did take me 2 months to complete, I would say every time I got back into the story, I was hooked. A 4.5 star there. And I really enjoyed this book and I cannot wait to see what's going to happen in the second. And the third book is going to come out later in October, I believe. So I cannot wait to get to this one. And here is my summer TBR. We have The Gunko, Fourth Wing, Better Than the Movies, Our Perfect Storm, and The Fury. I have no excuse here. I already have 2 library books checked out, so I need to get to that very soon. I am thinking of reading Fourth Wing in August. Give me some time to finish the rest of these books in the months of June and July so that I can focus on Fourth Wing in August, and that's the plan. And I think this is very doable. So I mean, that's what I said in my spring TBR, and we only read 2. I also have on the bottom corner or bottom third here a book bracket of my summer TBR to see what is my favorite book of the summer in my summer TBR, of course. So I'm excited to do this once I finish all 5 of the books. And I think because I have this down here, it's going to hold me accountable to finish all 5 books. I am very hopeful for this TBR. And you have seen my June spread already. So this is what it looks like. I think this is my favorite spread out of all of them. This is very cute and I cannot wait to fill this page up with all the books that I have read in June. That is my 2026 reading journal flip through. All right, we're near the end of the video. I know this is gonna be a very long video. I've already started editing the video and it has already been 50 minutes long. Or more, probably. We do have one more item on the list, but I have decided to just do it off camera and just share with you all what I've decided to do with decorating my kobo. Ultimately, I went to Staples yesterday to print out the right dimensions for my kobo so that I can use the whole image instead of maybe collaging it. And this is the end result. I am super happy with how it looks. It is so cute. I think this was the best option to reprint because I loved every element in this background and I didn't really want to cut out any part of it. I have also decided not to put any stickers in the back because there's a lot going on already on the back here. So I felt that if I added stickers to the back of this, it would just be overwhelming and just too much for me. I am obsessed with it. I think this is probably my favorite of the 2 backgrounds I've had so far with the spring and now the summer. I do really enjoy this and I had so much fun collaging this background. I am not good with collaging, so this was a first attempt. The more I do this, the more I'll get the hang of it and it'd be a lot faster for me to come up with something. That is it for this video. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video and I will see you all in the next one. Bye.